Hi guys, welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to show you how I make terrariums for indoors. It's super simple. You just need a few things. So let me show you how I do it. Okay, the items you're going to need are some large glass containers with lids. Obviously some plants. Make sure that they are small enough to fit in your container. Optionally, you can get some moss. Then you're going to want some large rocks, small rocks, just some rocks for the bottom. Activated carbon, which is usually found in the pet store near the aquarium, so it's just activated charcoal, and some potting soil, also some water. So let's get started on this one first. This one was my mom's and her plants ended up dying, so I'm going to repurpose this into a new terrarium. Also optional are little miniature fairy garden decorations. Some people like these, some don't. So I'm going to start by placing my large rocks at the bottom. This is just for kind of a filter for the water and a little basin for the water to sit in so it doesn't oversaturate your soil. Then I'm going to pour in activated charcoal, a nice layer of that, because that will help keep mold from growing. It will also filter your water just like it does in a fish tank. So we'll put a nice layer right on top of our rocks. While I have it out, I'll just go ahead and put rocks and charcoal in the big one. Next up, you're going to want some potting soil. I just bought multi-purpose potting soil. I also have a bunch of seed starting mix left over, so I'm going to mix those together. Okay, and we're just going to add a nice layer of soil to each of our containers. Next up, we need to decide what plants we want in each of our terrariums. Now, I bought a bunch of different plants in a couple different nurseries. One was in Suburban Lawn and Garden, some were at Lowe's, some were at, I can't even remember now, but these plants here, they look a little sad. All of these look a little sad because I haven't watered them, but they'll perk right back up. These two are nerve plants and they get really dramatic and droopy, but as soon as you water them, they perk right back up. These are really good for terrariums. I also have a plant called Baby Tears, which will kind of spread and vine out and looks really pretty in a larger terrarium. And then I found this cute little moonlight philodendron, so it will get bigger, but it'll kind of stick to its base. I have a little asparagus style fern, lace fern, I'm not sure what this one's called, but it's a type of fern. Then I have two different types of oxalis. I have purple and green. They kind of look like clovers. They flower really pretty, and they do well in terrariums. They will go dormant sometimes and die, but then they will come right back. I then bought two different types of ground cover moss, Scotch moss and Irish moss, which will spread out kind of as ground cover in my terrariums. I also bought this Platt's Black Leptinella. I'm not sure how to say it. It is purple and green and so cool, and it's kind of like a ground cover as well. I've kind of let it die a little bit, but it'll come back. And that's it for the plants. So now we need to decide where everything is going to go. I definitely want this fern kind of tall in the middle here because it's just kind of a tall statement piece. And then this one's going to go in my classroom. So I want to add some fun decorations and little things like that. So I'm going to put my favorites in this one, and then this bigger one will be for my house. And I can also break apart some of these bigger ones too, like the purple and green Leptinella and the Baby's Tears. They can definitely be separated, maybe even this moss. So I'm just kind of placing them where I think I want them to go, just to kind of get an idea of what will fit in here, what's going to look good in here. I don't want two light greens next to each other. That one there. I'll probably do some of the lighter green nerve plant and this purple and green ground cover and some Baby Tears once I get these planted out. So I have just kind of a rough idea of where I want everything to go. So we'll go ahead and start pulling our plants out of their nursery pots and planting them just like we would a normal plant in a pot. Okay, and then we'll do our little purple oxalis, purple clover it might be. Just gently pushing the soil over it. Then our moonlight philodendron is gonna go up front. All right, now I'm gonna pull out some of this leptonella. I'm not sure how to say it, but we're just gonna pull a nice big chunk off. Like that, and give it a spot over here. And if it, gets a little mangled looking, it will perk back up later, so don't be too worried if your plants look a little worse for wear as you're planting or a day or two after you're planting. So just kind of situate these however looks good, and like I said, they will kind of perk up and look better as you grow your terrarium. So now I have some Irish moss I want to put in the Irish moss is too close to the fern, and so I'm going to use the lighter one, the Scotch moss, and put it in here. And I'm just going to rip off the bottom chunk of it because it's not going to fit and it'll regrow roots. So I kind of ripped it to that point. We're going to put it right by the purple clovers. I don't really think I want a nerve plant in this one because I really like the look of the baby tears, so I'm going to split a piece of the baby tears off as well. So now you can kind of see the layout I chose, and now I'm going to add decorations, moss, and get it watered. So I have these really cute mushrooms for like a fairy garden. So I'm going to put these in as a group of 3, just kind of over in this empty space here, like that, which I think will look cute up front. Just kind of flatten the dirt here so it doesn't sink and you can still see all the details. I also have this adorable little brass and glass owl. And a cute little brass frog. Okay, now I'm going to add some different kinds of moss and lichen. This moss I bought off of Amazon, and I can link it down below. It came really well packaged, and again, I just kind of let it sit too long. But it has really pretty textures to it. So I'm just kind of lightly setting this on top of the soil. This one's super cool. I may take the frog out and put it on top of the moss here. Just some more moss, just kind of around the edge. Moss helps kind of keep the moisture in and kind of regulate everything. So I like to add a little bit of moss. You could do decorative moss too, it doesn't have to be live. I don't think I have any more room, but I harvested pieces of wood from my parents' house that had moss growing on it, and I just thought that was so cool looking. But I think I'm out of room in this one, so we'll save it for the big one. Okay, final step here is just to give it a little bit of water. I also like to kind of just rinse the leaves off. If you give it too much water, it will start to mold. But if that happens, so you can just leave the lid off for a day or two and it will help dry it out. But I want to make sure I get this nice and watered because the soil I started with was really, really dry. So I'm gonna let this sit. I probably won't cover it until tomorrow, just to let the water kind of get situated. But I wanted to see what it looks like, so I'm gonna add the lid. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. I love this, and I'll show you close up here in a little bit. So I'll leave this to kind of dry out a little bit and take it to my new classroom, because I accepted a new job in a different school. So this will be my fun kind of new classroom present to myself. All right, same deal for this terrarium. We're just gonna kind of take everything out and repot it into the terrarium. And I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want these. I'm gonna put these two on both edges, like that, kind of fill up an edge. I'll put my baby tears, the other big one, in the back. We'll do our green oxalis in the front because I want to see it, and it's smaller, so I don't want it to get shadowed out. There we go. Actually, I'll scoot it to one side, and then we'll do our black plat, or sorry, do our Platts Black Leptonella kind of over to this side. This one I'm just going real fast, this one's just going to stay at my house. It's not going anywhere public. And finally, the Scottish moss, which again, I'm going to take some of the dirt off. Oh, there's a worm in there. Perfect. Worms are really good. So are roly-polies or pill bugs or isopods, whatever you call those. They kind of maintain the health of a terrarium as well. So if you're out in the garden or something and find, you know, red worms or roly-polies, or pill bugs, I think people call them, anything like that, add them to your terrarium because they will enhance the health of your plants and the soil. I'm going to add in my log of moss. Maybe a couple. No, I like that one. And I've got some different moss from Amazon here that I'll kind of squeeze in. And it'll kind of fluff out and look a lot better once it gets established. Okay. Then we're gonna add, I'm gonna put my snail on my log, my frog on the moss. And time to water. Try to get all the dirt off the sides. Off the plant leaves. Again, I'll just leave this one to kind of dry out overnight. Okay, here are our two terrariums. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel to subscribe for more content like this. And I hope to see you guys again very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.